She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA.
What Rebecca Lobo just said about Caitlyn Clark and WNBA officiating is something the league can't afford to ignore anymore. After the controversial calls or lack of them in the Fever vs. Sun game, it's become crystal clear the same refs who are supposed to protect the game could end up hurting it. Lobo, a respected voice and WNBA legend, didn't hold back. She brought attention to what many around the league are already saying behind closed doors. The officiating is becoming a serious issue, and it's threatening the growth and integrity of the league. This isn't just about missed calls, it's about how the WNBA is treating its biggest star. The way Caitlyn Clark is being handled on the court sends a message, and it's not a good one. If the league has learned anything from Clark's rising influence, it hasn't shown it yet. We'll also get into some promising news about the Fever that could be a turning point, but also makes the league's slow response even more frustrating. But before we dive in, give this video a like because clearly, some of these refs could use an extra whistle. And subscribe for more updates on Caitlyn Clark and the Fever. Now, let's rewind and take a closer look at what's really going on.
The nerve, the second-year player clearing out that side of the floor, shooting on Stewie, and then watch the reaction with one another. Stewie's laughing.
Caitlyn Clark made a big statement just a few games ago with her return. She scored 25 points in the first half alone, including 3 deep three-pointers in just 38 seconds. It wasn't just exciting, it was a reminder to fans and the entire WNBA of exactly who's leading the charge in this league.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlyn Clark.
Two players with incredible up.
Clark, another long three.
This game said it all. It made one thing clear. The WNBA doesn't just gain from Caitlyn Clark, it depends on her. During the 5 games she missed, the impact was obvious. TV ratings dropped, social media buzz disappeared, and national attention faded. Without Caitlyn, every other WNBA headline seemed to get lost in the background.
But here we go with Caitlyn Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone, and ratings tanking, 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it with this absence and then the way she came back.
After weeks of falling ratings and growing criticism, Caitlyn Clark's return didn't just boost the Fever, it gave the entire WNBA a shot of energy. Her game against the New York Liberty drew a peak of 2.8 million viewers, making it one of the most watched WNBA games ever. To put that in perspective, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals averaged 0.5 million viewers, and while comparing hockey to basketball isn't exactly one-to-one, the fact remains Caitlyn Clark just pulled more viewers than a major men's championship. That's a big deal, oddly enough. This game-changing moment seems to have gone right over the heads of WNBA leadership. But Rebecca Lobo, Olympic gold medalist, Hall of Famer, and one of ESPN's most respected analysts, definitely noticed. Before we get into what she had to say about the refs, listen to how she breaks down the real impact of Clark's return.
Rebecca, tell me, what does Clark's return mean for the WNBA?
Well, I mean, it means a lot more people are paying attention once again. We know how much Caitlyn drives ratings. We know how much Caitlyn drives attention on the WNBA. And for her to come back and do it in that way was just...
Listen to what Rebecca Lobo pointed out. People are watching again. It's a simple line, but it says a lot because if they're watching again, that means they stopped watching. And we all know when that drop-off happened, when Caitlyn Clark was out. Lobo didn't leave it at that, though. She explained exactly why fans came rushing back the moment Clark stepped back on the court.
Sitting there at the end of the first quarter when she had that 38-second stretch where she drained deep three after deep three after deep three, I was just sitting there thinking, I've been around this league since 1997. I have never seen that in a WNBA game. Have we seen players go on runs? Of course we have, but not like that. Not where a couple of the three-pointers are from 30-plus feet. It was an exhibition by her.
It's the thing, these weren't just long jumpers or deep threes. These were logo range shots, and she hit them like it was nothing. Very few players in the world can do that consistently, and that's exactly why fans are watching. Even Natasha Cloud, who's been critical of Clark's fanbase, had to admit the obvious: you have to start guarding her the moment she crosses half court. That's not typical. Just ask Rebecca Lobo.
It was just ridiculous. It's not often that you're watching the WNBA or that I'm watching it and I'm like, wow, I've just never seen this before.
Of this makes what's been happening not just since Caitlyn's return, but really since last season deeply concerning. This isn't just about missed calls or physical defense anymore. It's a clear pattern. And it's gotten so obvious that even respected WNBA voices like Rebecca Lobo are calling it out. That game against the Sun, it should have been a wake-up call for the entire league.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabry. Boom! I mean, come on.
JC Sheldon and Marina Mabry basically took turns going after Caitlyn Clark. During the game, first with a swipe to the face, then a hard body check that sent her to the floor. Somehow, neither of them was ejected. Now, to be fair, Caitlyn was jawing a bit with JC earlier. That's part of the game. But talking trash isn't a green light to rough someone up. You can't knock down the league's biggest star like it's pro wrestling and expect no consequences. Even the commentators were caught off guard. You could hear the shock in their voices. They clearly thought an ejection was coming, and they weren't alone. Coaches, analysts, fans, even other players around the league were stunned by how it played out.
Hey, we would have been crashing that RT.
Courtney, if somebody ever tackles you like that,
Nobody would ever tackle me like that. They would play with Bridget like that, and then we would have to like take it up there.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying.
Nobody would ever play with me like
If that ever happened, you better crash out behind me, because I'm crashing out behind you.
T,
We can share the same jail cell.
Of course, the face swipe and shove on Caitlyn were the moments that went viral. That's what everyone's talking about. But it wasn't some random outburst. The tension had been brewing all game long, and the refs just kept letting things go. It was only a matter of time before it boiled over.
This is JC Sheldon right here with an entire handful of Caitlyn Clark's shoulder and bicep, and she's twisting it. Okay? I mean, this is wild. Here's the zoomed out look, the snapshot. I mean, this league does not have control of its players.
Tension went from simmering to boiling quickly, and Stephanie White was furious after the game. You could tell from the way she carried herself before she even spoke. She took a deep breath, then didn't hold back. She let it all.
You know, the game has changed so much. Players are faster, they're better, they're bigger, they're stronger. You know, they're as good as they've ever been. They're as athletic as they've ever been. The game is fast now. Things are happening quickly. Everybody's getting better, except the officials.
It was as harsh a critique of the refs as you can get without calling anyone out by name. The message was clear: we're improving, but the officials aren't. It's tough to hear, but it's exactly how many players, coaches, and fans feel. And here's the key point: this isn't just about the Sun game. It's been going on all season. Missed calls, mixed up calls, and players like Caitlyn Clark getting called differently and not in a way that helps protect her.
What was that play? Oh my god, this is rigged. This is rigged. She got yanked, fell on her hip. That's a hack! That's a hack! That's a hack! Oh my god, they hacked the one upon her and they hacked Caitlyn Clark. They are both hacks. They are both hacks. They hacked Fever twice, and then there was a phantom foul called on Sabrina Ionescu.